Amidst the thick, howling wind and crackling snow, Christmas night enveloped our home in a mysterious coldness. My family gathered around the Christmas table, and the smell of roast chicken and baked goods filled our kitchen. However, amid this festive bustle, I felt an eerie discomfort, as if something intangible floated in the air. As we sat down to the table, the feeling became more pronounced. Attempts to smile and enjoy the moment became strained as the windows reflected the dense darkness of the outside world. My gaze inadvertently met the glowing eyes of two large shadows, becoming more distinct against the backdrop of moonlight. These were eyes that did not belong to any creature one could believe in. At first, it was just a curiosity, but then something very wrong began to happen. Emerging from the darkness was a large and terrifying shadow. It seemed to have two heads that twisted in a steep dance, as if deepening its own malevolence. They were tall, and their eyes glowed like coal fires. A chill ran through my family and me as this shadow desperately peered through the window, remaining there like an ominous observer. I felt a stifled breath, and for the second time, stronger this time, trying to take its place in our kitchen. We tried to dismiss this phenomenon, but it had already etched itself into our souls, underscoring its presence. Trying to dispel the tension, I suggested games and stories, but the shadow continued its dance outside the window, in harmony with the howling wind. It seemed to carry echoes from another world, where rules had no meaning, and time stood still in a moment of eternity. Deciding that this must be some swift, diabolical joke, I stepped outside to greet the little devil or bear that I hoped had emerged from a fairy tale. But the shadow disappeared as soon as my feet touched the doorstep. Something seemed strange. The wind, it seemed, had also fallen out of control, and the snow had frozen in the air, creating misty shapes of the past. Stopping in the middle of the yard, I heard footsteps behind me. The steps were quiet, but they were there. She returned. The large shadow with glowing eyes stood before me. The shadow that carried indefinable evil. "What do you want?" I shouted, but it remained silent, as if it were an ancient spirit, rebellious and speechless. I felt the cold penetrating every cell of my body as it stretched, trying to engulf me with its giant shadows. I felt it seeping into my body, evoking tears of fear. Tired and overwhelmed, I returned to the house, filled with loss and uncertainty. My family sat like statues, their faces expressing the fear that had engulfed them. We knew that something had changed, and this change carried with it a sorrow that permeated every corner of our home. Our Christmas was over, but the mysterious shadow with two heads remained in our home and in our memories. It became a part of us, blending into every frightening dream and darkness, now mysteriously connected to our lives. The enigmatic creature stayed in the shadows, guarding its secrets from human understanding, and we were left with the impression that there was something more in our world than we could imagine.